Hello! I am Guide Me Stars, and welcome! I know I had a plan for a sim series, and as you can tell, this is not what I started. And that's because my old thing that I started was on a different computer, and that computer just decided to not want to play The Sims anymore. For some reason, I've tried everything I can to fix it, but it just doesn't want to work. So I'm currently playing on my school computer, which I will eventually have to erase all the files from, which isn't great, but I will try to work something out for that when I do this. Anyway, welcome to something a little different. I'm not doing the Breed Out the Ugly challenge because the thing is, after everything went wrong, I don't really want to do it anymore, so instead, now I'm going to introduce you to my own family, or families actually, that I've been playing off-screen, because there's a lot of drama going on currently, and I thought it would be fun for you guys to join. I've been sat here, like, figuring out a storyline for every single character, pretty much. And I think this will be really interesting, so I'm going to introduce you to all the characters now. Here, in this family, we have the Skylar family. And this sim right here, Clementine, was one of my first sims when I started this series, or well, the first two sims I had, this is their daughter, basically. And she was adopted. She wants to become a master mixologist. She is a grown-up. She is romantic, very responsible, and outgoing. And this is her wife, Connie, who is also an adult. She is very jealous and self-assured, though, and brave, and wants to find, her soulmate. And this is their son, Aaron, who is also self-assured and very much a social butterfly. And this is their last kid, Ansel, who is currently a gamer. I don't think that's what Ansel is supposed to be, but I think when Ansel grew up, I wasn't there to decide traits, so I'm probably gonna change that. But yeah, for the moment, Ansel is a toddler. But this little family isn't as happy as it seems, unfortunately. Clementine here is cheating on Connie with Candy Bear, and it's quite scandalous because they used to date back in when they were teenagers, and then they broke up because they didn't really, that romance wasn't there anymore. And the thing is, Clementine and Connie have been fighting a lot, and eventually Clementine just couldn't do it anymore because Connie was so jealous all the time, like saying extreme things, saying like, oh, you have been out like being with people and blah 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 blah, and they fought so much that she just couldn't handle it anymore. And she invited over her friend Candy then, who she used to date, but they're just friends. And as soon as they saw each other, they kissed. I didn't even control that, it just kind of happened, and then I was like, well, I guess I'm going with this storyline. But yeah, so she is cheating, and they were both very drunk, and it got out of hand, and Clementine and Candy ended up having sex. And now, as you could see probably, there's a baby, which Sophia here, who is Candy's girlfriend, she thinks it's their baby and is very happy, but truth is, it's not their baby. It is Candy's and Clementine's baby. And obviously, Connie doesn't know this. She just knows that they're fighting a lot, but she's starting to suspect something because Clementine has been staying out a lot, and that's not like her. Even though she works late shifts, she has been coming home extra late, which is kind of weird. And obviously this is affecting the kids. For example, Aaron, who really hates that his parents are fighting, and he really wants to just help them get along, and he's doing his best, but he's becoming a teenager soon and he doesn't quite know what to do, and he's starting to act out a bit, and it's not great. Ansel here. We don't really know a lot about Ansel. I have some storylines. I have a plan for Ansel, but it's a little too early to announce that already. But obviously they're just a toddler. Ansel is just a toddler, so he's not really, he doesn't really know what's going on. And he's not gonna understand probably until everything breaks down. I think, though, Ansel is aging up into a child soon, and so then Ansel will probably start understanding some stuff, and then I can start playing out the storyline that I have going for Ansel, which I'm very excited about. But yes, this is our first family, the Skylers, and there's a bunch of drama. And then we have the Osbournes, who also happens to be a gay couple, because, well, I'm gay and everything has to be gay. No, there are straight couples, I promise. We have Orange, who is Clementine's sister. She's a bit older, so she is already an elder, actually. They had kids quite late, so they're getting old, unfortunately, and she is a painter, a very good one, and is earning a lot of money, but she recently retired, but she is still, you know, painting from home and stuff, so they're still having an income. She's creative and artistic sim and active. She really wants to start, like, getting more involved with her kids because she has been quite busy and wants to, like, have a better relationship with her daughter, especially because she was so busy when they got her. And their daughter, Athena, is Hera, what am I saying, is quite tricky of a child. She is a mastermind. She knows exactly what to say to cause anger, sadness, and jealousy in their opponents, and she really sees others as an opponent. She wants to become the most popular kid, no matter what, and no matter who stands in her way. And even though she's great friends with her cousins at the moment, she's gonna start to stray away from them, and her brother too. And as you can see, she's also quite smart, a quick learner and a nerd brain, but she is mean, and both her moms have a lot of trouble with that because they care a lot about other people and have always been very caring, and they feel like they're to blame for bringing up this child, but this child was always quite troublesome. When she was literally born on a day where there was a thunderstorm, and it was quite crazy, and this child just was something else. So I have a lot of interesting storylines for her to come as well. And here we have Julius, their son, who wants to become a comedian. He is very funny, he is hilarious, as you can see, and also had a really good childhood, which I think also why Hera has some trouble with her brother, because Julius had their parents all to himself and was always cared for a lot, and Hera was kind of neglected. Not really, but they worked a lot, and they had they hired a nanny to take care of her most of the time, so they don't have the greatest relationship with their daughter, unfortunately. But I do want to work on that, but also not, because I feel like Hera's gonna be acting out a lot. But Julius just wants to be he's a good guy. He has a girlfriend, I think her name is Julia or something, and he loves her a lot, but the question is, Does she really love him as much as he loves her? But he really just wants to be friends with everybody and wishes that his sister would... he wants to have a good relationship with his sister, and he loves his cousins and his family. And then we have Sharon, who is a gourmet chef, or master chef, I mean, and she loves cats, and she's quite a goofball. She's a bit hot-headed, but she's worked on that since she was a teenager, so it just happens sometimes, and she knows how to deal with it now. And she's an adult, so she's a bit younger than her wife. But they are very happy, actually. They're probably the most... Okay, maybe not the most, but they're a very happy couple. They have some problems, but she's very busy with work. That's basically it, and doesn't spend a lot of time with her wife, especially now that her wife is retired. Her wife feels a little bit alone sometimes, but she's trying to, like... They're trying to re-enlight that flame in their relationship. So yeah. That's the second family. Okay, so here we have the Rays, and the first one to pop up here just happens to be Krista, who is Ken's mother, and she is old, and she has, as you can see, done some bad stuff in her past, but she's creative and kind of lazy, and she loves music, but now that she's older and she's kind of like, oh, I haven't, like, her relationship with her son isn't great, and she kind of regrets that now that she's getting older. So she invited him and his wife and his kids, and dog, of course, to stay at her place while, especially since she's getting old and she needs some help, and she's getting quite lonely, and she wants to just rebuild her relationship with her son and her daughter-in-law and her grandkids, and just, yeah. Then we have Lime, who wants to be a friend of the world and wants to know everybody. She wants to be the perfect wife, the perfect mother. She is an influencer and kind of like a vlog mom. And she has a little bit of a rivalry with the other, like, big ass family who's, like, very famous in this town, the Lockwoods. But more about them later. She wants to be perfect, basically, and she wants her kids to be perfect as well. Even though she has had quite a messy life. Ines is not Ken's daughter. She had a guy that she loved a lot when she was young, but it was quite a stupid relationship. They got married very quickly and had kids very quickly, and her, the father to Venus bailed on them when she became a toddler, I think, and they were like, he was just like, I can't do this, and he started cheating, and then he had a kid with another girl, and now he's living with them instead, which is kind of sad. I feel bad for Lime. Lime and all her siblings, she's also sibling to Orange and Clementine. They're all named after citrus fruits just because I had fun when I named these kids, okay? But yeah, so that's her, and this is her husband, Ken, he's a really good guy, and he loves Lime a lot, but he has started to feel like she just kind of uses him for, like, oh, she wants to have a perfect family, and he's kind of the perfect guy, but he's like, do you really love me? So he has, unfortunately, been keeping his eyes on Melissa in the Lockwood family, but yeah, I'll get to those later. So he is kind of thinking about maybe hitting her up, which isn't the greatest idea, but yeah. And here we have Venus, who wants to be the leader of the pack, and she also wants to be very popular, but that's mostly because her mother is putting such pressure on her to be perfect. She just wants to be friends with everybody, basically. But she has a bit of a rivalry with the Lockwood daughter as well. But deep down, I think they can actually become really good friends in time. Then we have Sunny, who is her little sister, and she's just a toddler, and she's quite clingy. And for the moment, she's not, she's just a little kid, so we don't really know a lot about her. But yeah, she will grow up to be like the like a little bit of a goody two shoes, but the pressure is a little bit too much. I think it'll become a little bit too much, and she doesn't quite know how she will deal with it. But yeah, now let's go to the Lockwood family, because they have a lot of things in common with the other family. Okay, so this is Melissa Lockwood. She is a bitch. I don't know how to say it otherwise. She wants to become super rich and just wants money. She murdered her last husband, who is the father of these kids, to get the money for this house, and she is also a tormentor. So she is very mad and has a lot of pressure on her kids, and she doesn't treat them very nice, to be honest. Especially Melissa, no, Antoni, because she also feels a lot of pressure to be perfect, and even though if she is quite snobby and very flirty and also wants to be wealthy and stuff, she is starting to feel the pressure from her mom and has started to act out a lot, and they're fighting all the time. And her mother really doesn't treat her nice, and it's quite a mess. And she kind of sees Venus in this family a little bit as a rival, and at the moment they're not the best friends. They're not the greatest friends at the moment. They have quite of a rivalry. But I think, like I said, I think they will actually become quite good friends in due time. But yeah. And yeah, she's quite mean to everybody besides her brother, because they have a great relationship and they both know how much of a hell it is to live in this house. Oh, and this is the only family that I will be playing that isn't related to the others. Or I never know. Maybe I'll like put in some more Sims or something, you never know. But yeah, he is a gym rat, and he is also beguiling because he's a little bit of a he sleeps a lot, sleeps around a little bit. He doesn't treat girls very nicely. He kind of uses them as a way to numb his feelings from like being in this like house of hell. But he has kind of met Venus over here, and I don't know, he feels special about her, but in the beginning he will also kind of treat her like shit because he doesn't know how to deal with those kind of feelings. But they will evolve, basically. And yeah, that is the Lockwood family. So here we have the Rudds, and we have Jordan Talley because that's his name. Anyway, he is a cop, I think, but I think he's a retired cop, yeah. And he wants to be a bodybuilder, or actually, I think he's done with that already. Yeah, so he is a bodybuilder and he's got the traits and all that. He's also observant because, you know, he was a cop. He's also quite gloomy, so he kind of struggles with. He feels sad a lot of times, but his wife, Citrus, is always there for him, so yeah. And he's also a bit goofball. He is just a good guy. He loves his kids, and he's so happy now that he is retired because he can spend more time with his kids. And yeah, he's just very happy, even though he has feeling the pressure of, you know, he's getting old and his kids are still quite young, so he's feeling the pressure to, like, you know, how's it gonna end up for them if we die early? Like, what are we gonna do? But he wants to just spend as much time as he possibly can with his kids. And here we have Citrus, which is his wife, which is also a sibling to the other moms. And yes, she is a best-selling author, and they are very rich, by the way. They inherited their parents' house, and they were quite rich. So yeah, she's a bookworm and also like has very good emotional control and creative, but she cares a lot about her work, and her job is everything. But she recently really realized that she doesn't have the greatest relationship with her kids, and now that she's getting old, she's like, whoa, what am I doing? I need to start prioritizing my kids. So she might actually get retired soon and just stay with the kids and just write like a little bit now and then. And then we have Jude, which is their daughter, and she is a genius and a savant and learns everything quite fast, and she was a very happy toddler because they cared a lot about her when she was a kid. They still do, don't get me wrong. Jordan loves his kids, and so does Citrus, of course, but Jordan like really loves his kids. And she is the perfect daughter, basically. She has the best grades and she wants to become a scientist. And she's also just like a very nice girl. Like, she cares about others, but she is feeling the pressure of like being perfect. But I think she'll be the only one who can really handle this pressure, I think, because she wants this as well. She wants to like do well, like for real. And then we have Jaden here, who is adopted, and she's just a kid, I think, though she's becoming a teenager quite soon. And she is hot-headed, and, well, even though she loves her new family, she's struggling to feel like she belongs sometimes, because she stayed at the orphanage for quite a while, like, and even though, like, her family has been so nice to her, she still struggles sometimes, and remembers a bunch of the stuff that she went through. And it's been rough, basically. And she is angry a lot. But to kind of help her parents put her into the Scouts, and they're hoping that maybe that will like teach her like responsibility and to care about others. So yeah, they're working on it, basically, and I think it's a good idea that she's in Scouts, basically. Yeah, I'm saying basically so much. I'm so sorry, guys. Like, I drive myself nuts, I promise. And here we have I think this is the last family. Here we have Lemon, who is also obviously a sibling to all of the other parents. And he is the only son, so he's also an elder. He is one of the older guys, and Orange is his twin, so they aged up at the same time. And he's also quite a happy toddler. I also gave them like the frugal thing because they are earning a good amount of money because he's a doctor, even though I think he just got retired because now he's done with that. He wants to spend time with his kids. He's getting old. He's feeling the pressure of like, oh my god, I'm gonna die soon. I don't want to die, which I relate to. No, I'm like 17. What am I on about? But yeah, he wants to be a Renaissance sim. I don't think he has finished that actually, so he might die a little bit early. Sorry to break it to you. I don't want that. I'll probably cry because these are like these are my kids. You guys understand. Okay, but then we have his beautiful wife Yuki, who is quite a bit of a nerd and has a bit of anxiety. She has struggled a lot with new people and big crowds, but Lemon has always been there for her and she's working it through, but sometimes it kind of gets to her still, even now that she's a mom. So sometimes she struggles with feeling like she's a bad mom because she can't do everything for them sometimes, and it's quite tough. But yeah, she's a loner, she is ambitious, so she still like cares a lot about succeeding, basically. She's also a geek, and she is I think she works as like a programmer and stuff. So she loves her job, even though like of course it's a job, so everybody thinks their job is tough sometimes, but she loves her job and she loves her family. And she's a bit younger, sorry guys, and she's just an adult still. But yeah, basically that's it. And then we have Skylar, their daughter, who's a bit of like a black sheep in the family. She is quite gothy, a little bit edgy, and feels like she doesn't need anybody, but in truth I think she actually is quite lonely, because she doesn't really, because all the other kids have like a good relationship with some of their cousins or have good friends, but Skylar doesn't really have anybody except her sister. And she wants to become like a writer or something. I'm still actually quite not sure about what I want her to become. I think I might wait a little bit to like actually decide until the Get Famous pack comes out, because I have some plans for that as well. In this, I think some people will want to become famous. Maybe Skylar, actually. But yeah, she's independent, like I said, and a speed reader, so she loves to read and stuff. She's a little bit of a nerd. And here we have Sora, who is her sister, who is also a bookworm, so they get along great, actually. But Sora's a bit of a sheep. Like, she follows others and just kind of follows around her cousins and stuff. So yeah, like, she doesn't have a very strong personality in a lot of ways. She's just nice, kinda. While her sister has a very strong personality and is very like, this is who I am and you can't budge that. And also Skylar doesn't really fit in with other teenagers because she feels very uncomfortable in like the whole teenage kind of thing. Like, all the drama is just so unnecessary in her mind, and like all the partying and stuff. Like, she doesn't really like that. She just wants to like stay home, watch movies, maybe like grab a coffee and stuff like that. But she's also like, she cares a lot about other people and would stand up for anybody, really. But yeah, Sora wants to become she wants to open up a little flower shop in the future, so she cares a lot about plants and the outdoors, and she loves her sister, even though they don't always get along about everything, because they're very different people, but they love each other a lot. Yeah, I think that might be it, actually. I'm just gonna check. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I think we're done. The introduction of all the characters are done. Hello, I'm recording this while editing, because at first I was just gonna make this a whole big episode, but it's way too long, so I didn't record an outro for just the introduction. So yeah, here I am. I hope you enjoyed the finding out things about these characters. I know it wasn't a very eventful episode, but I'm currently editing the next part as well, where there actually is gameplay, so that will come up pretty much the same time as this, probably. But I hope you like it, and I hope you enjoy these characters, and I hope you will join me on this journey. So yeah, bye. If you like it, please subscribe. Please comment if you liked where this is going, if you're excited. And if you're mad at me for fucking up the things with the old series things. But yeah. That's it. Like and subscribe and all that jazz. You know what to do. Bye!